I have played games for as long as I can remember. This means that I'm very well practiced when it comes to games, and the obvious outcome from that is that I'm good at games. But I'm not that good. What I mean by this is that when I pick up a brand new game and play it, I will most likely progress fast and be proficient very quickly. It's safe to say that I'm adaptable when it comes to games. A perfect example I would like to bring up is Deadlock. This game is brand new, and out of all the games that I have played, I've really never played MOBAs, and maybe if I did, it was probably less than 5 to 10 hours. I got my invite to Deadlock a little over 2 weeks ago now, and have 25 plus hours on the game. I've become proficient with the mechanics and know which items to buy in the situations in which they're necessary, and while I'm no means a master at the game, I would consider myself above average. The ranked mode has just come out, and while I haven't played it yet because I haven't gotten the 50 game requirement, I will be trying it when I am able. What I want to discuss in this video is the experience of the gamer who is good and almost always beats their friends and maybe even competes in scrims or whatever they're called for the game they're playing. But even though they do these things, they never reach Masters, Radiant, Champion, or whatever the shiny name that's given to the highest rank in the game. I am one of these gamers. I have hit Diamond in Valorant and Apex Legends, I've hit Champion in Fortnite, and countless other mid to high tier ranks, but I've never reached the peak. This can be frustrating at times, but without countless hours of practice, I will never reach these ranks, and I know that. But it still sucks when that barrier is there. There are a few reasons why this is. I'm a person who jumps from game to game, playing a wide variety of games and genres. I have friends who are the opposite, who will sit on one game for days, months, and maybe even years at a time. And while some of them still aren't very good and probably never will be, a few of them can achieve these high ranks through playing their game a lot. When I track my hours on a game on Steam, the ones at the top aren't the games that I just had a small phase with. They're the games that I either 100%ed, or the games that I've had a long time and just slowly add hours along that time. The only real exception to this was Fortnite, but that's the kind of game that comes out once a decade and explodes. The top games on my Steam for hours played are Counter-Strike, Team Fortress 2, Destiny 2, Elden Ring, and Dark Souls 3. These games have either been out for a while or I've 100%ed them. I 100%ed Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3, and if you want to count CS2 as 100%, I've done that as well. Another reason you may be stuck in these mid to high ranks is that your teammates just aren't good enough. I understand that if you're good enough, you can make up the difference that these teammates create. But my problem is that I'm good enough to beat these people alone, but I'm not good enough to make up that difference. I often experience this feeling of losing to people who are worse than me. What I mean by this is that I can outplay the people on their team individually, but cannot do that same thing when they are all working together. Now, I don't mean to go guns blazing, because blaming your teammates is usually the first instinct of a gamer, but I don't say this to make you blame your teammates, because if you were better, it wouldn't matter. But when you analyze what is keeping your rank lower, then you have to be able to take into account everything. Don't make these excuses for yourself, because most people in these top ranks have had to deal with this as well, but they found a way. Another thing that tends to stop me from hitting these top ranks is just the amount of games you have to play to rank up. The ranked mode I've played most recently is Overwatch, and I queue with friends, so our ranks are a little too far apart, and we get a wide queue rank percentage. So even if we win a game, I only gain 16 to 20% progress on my rank, which doesn't make up for these losses that I lose a lot more percentage. 90% of the time when you blame the game's rank system or something pertaining to the game, it's just plain wrong. It's completely fine if you can't reach this highest rank, but if you really want to hit that rank, then just go ahead and do it. This leads me to the biggest reason why I, and most likely you if you're watching this video, can't achieve the rank you want. It sounds so dumb because it's so simple. You don't actually want to hit that rank. You want to be in that rank because it sounds nice, or like fun, but you never practice. You just throw yourself at the game over and over again expecting a different outcome. Now, I'm not saying this to make you feel bad about yourself, because I do this. But if you really want to improve, you must be honest with yourself. Do you really want to hit this rank? If you think about it, and you don't want to, then just play for fun, and maybe a little bit of competition every once in a while. But if you want to improve, then you have to take that extra time to improve. Funnily enough, it's not even that hard, it's just extra work you have to put in. When you are playing, try to become aware of these mistakes you're making. An example is that when I play a game, I tend to go on autopilot, and I just try to get the most amount of eliminations as possible before the game ends. And even if that means that's the downfall of my game. It's not like I want to lose, but I just don't analyze or think on a deeper level about my gameplay. When I start to think of it as a strategy game, I improve drastically. Think of where to place yourself strategically, and what the most intelligent move is at the time. This might not be apparent to you at the time, If it isn't, then the best source would be to find a friend that can help you. If you don't have a friend that plays the game, or you don't have a friend that's good enough to teach you, YouTube can always be a great resource. Don't solely use YouTube to improve though, because there's only so much you can be taught through explanation, and you can learn a lot more through physically doing something. YouTube is great and all, but the biggest struggle I have while learning is in those specific situations that can only be answered through a person and not a pre-recorded video. When this happens, I will ask the people in my game, streamers, and or finding a Discord you can use as a resource. Anyways, this video was just a little rant about this slight in-between in gaming. I hope you enjoyed the shorter video, then one next week should be normal length, but I was short on time this week. Anyways, I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and God bless.